Hello and welcome to this week's summer reading project. This week we're focusing on epic quest. Do you know what the word quest means? A quest is a very difficult journey taken by a person in search of something valuable or important. Characters in stories often go on quests to find all kinds of things. Treasure, like a hidden pirate's gold, secrets or special knowledge. They might go looking for their way back home, or maybe even to find someone who is lost. Whatever they are looking for, reading stories about someone going on a quest can usually be very exciting. Often in quest stories, you may read about characters having to tackle something called a labyrinth. A labyrinth is a complex combination of twisting passages and paths with something special hidden in the very center. They are like a circular maze where a character must find their way right to the middle of the circle and then out again. There's a very well-known story about a labyrinth that I'd like to share with you now. Do you remember last week when we built a kite for Icarus? I told you then the story of Icarus and his father, Daedalus. I mentioned that Daedalus was a genius inventor and that he'd done something to make King Minos very angry. Well, King Minos of Crete, knowing how clever Daedalus was, asked him to design a labyrinth that could be a prison for a monster, the Minotaur, who is half bull and half man. Daedalus agreed to help the king and designed a labyrinth so complex that even he, the person who designed it, almost got lost inside forever. King Minos loved the labyrinth and was very pleased with what Daedalus had done. However, later on, Daedalus made a choice that the king did not like. Daedalus helped a warrior king named Theseus by telling Theseus the secrets of the labyrinth so that he could find his way through and kill the monstrous Minotaur. It was this that made King Minos so angry that he put both Daedalus and Icarus in prison. This week then, our Epic Quests project is inspired by the labyrinth that Daedalus built for King Minos. We're going to make a marble maze and see if we can get our marbles from one end of the maze to the next. Be sure to pick up your marble maze kit from the Essex Free Library vestibule. In your kit, you will find one large piece of heavy-duty cardstock, 4 long strips of heavy-duty cardstock, 10 colorful craft sticks, and 2 marbles in a small bag. You will also need glue and tape for this project. I used stick glue for the cardstock and liquid glue for my craft sticks, so having both on hand would be very helpful. You will also need a pair of scissors. The first part of this project involves making a base for your marble maze, kind of like a low-sided box or tray. To do this, take 2 of the long strips of cardstock and fold them in half lengthwise. Run your glue stick down the flat side of each piece and then carefully glue them onto the bottoms of the large piece of cardstock, like this. Now, take the other 2 long strips of cardstock. Lay the bigger piece of cardstock on top of these pieces, like this, and then get a pen or pencil. Use the pen to mark the corners of each strip of cardstock so you'll know where to cut and fold to make corners for your base. When you've marked all 4 corners, take the large piece of cardstock away. You should be left with something that looks like this. It's now time for the scissors. Make a small cut from each end of the cardstock strip to the line that you just made with your pen. Try to cut as close to the center of the strip as you can. Do this for all 4 ends. Once it's done, fold these 2 strips in half, just like we did at the beginning of our project with the other 2 cardstock strips. Run glue up and down both pieces and glue them onto the bottom of the large piece of cardstock at the top and bottom of the sheet. Your project should look a bit like this now. It's time for some tape. Tear a few pieces off so that you're all ready to go, and then use the tape to create 4 sturdy corners on your maze base. First, tape up one tab of the cardstock, then tape the other over top of the first, just like this. Do this on all 4 corners and you should have a nice tray or base for your maze. Now it's time to design your marble maze using the glue and craft sticks. As I mentioned earlier, using glue sticks and liquid glue worked best for me, so it's a good idea to have both types handy. Glue one side of your craft stick and then place it anywhere you like on the cardstock base. Continue doing this with all the other craft sticks, maybe even breaking a few of them into 2 pieces, until you're satisfied with the design of your maze. Be sure to give the glue some time to dry, a good hour or so, I think. Then see if you can roll your marbles through the maze from one end to the other by gently tilting the base back and forth. Let's see if I can get my marble through my maze. Yay, it worked! I had so much fun designing and building this marble maze. I hope that you enjoyed this project too. Thank you so much for watching my video today. Please join me next week when we talk about fairy tales and build a fairy house in the garden. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time.